You don't need to be a relationship expert to notice that Donald and Melania Trump have an unconventional marriage. From the outside, it doesn't look like they have a lot in common, but somehow they've made it work.
Do you love your husband?
Yes, we are fine. Yes.
So, what exactly keeps them together? Let's take a closer look. One big factor keeping them together is their shared values. Melania has said in interviews that underneath it all, she and Donald, along with her father, come from the same mold. They all care about hard work, family, tradition, and of course an appreciation for quality.
How many carrots is that?
I don't know, I never think about it.
You don't think about carrots?
No.
I bet you do. I bet you know exactly how many carrots
I
it is.
do, actually.
See?
But shared values aren't the whole story. Another key part of their relationship? They both love their alone time. Family expert Mary Jordan told The Guardian that they often spend a lot of time apart, even when they're in the same building. Melania has called herself a loner, and Donald does too. And apparently they're perfectly content with that.
I'm very happy about it.
Yeah.
In interviews, Melania has said things like, "He is a very understanding husband. If I say, I need an hour, I'm going to take a bath, he doesn't have anything against it. He's very supportive." Back in 2016, she told The Washington Post, "We like to do what we like to do, and we give ourselves and each other space. I allowed him to have his passions, and he let me do the same. Independence seems to be key."
I give him my honest advice and honest opinions, and then he does what he wants to do.
Melania has also reportedly put a lot of thought into keeping their marriage strong. She studied Donald's previous relationships and even read all 17 of his books to understand what went wrong. Family expert Jordan explains that Melania shaped herself into the woman Donald wanted by his side, praising him, keeping a small circle of friends, and always looking polished and camera-ready.
He's very passionate about the country. He's one of the best, the most brilliant negotiator mind out there, like genius's mind out there.
Even during a brief early separation, she reportedly stayed true to his preferences, didn't date anyone else, and showed loyalty in ways that mattered to him.
Melania Trump, thank you very much.
And of course, Melania has supported her husband through some of his most controversial moments. From the 2016 campaign onwards, Donald has been known for bold and sometimes false statements. Melania has often defended him publicly. For example, when Donald questioned Barack Obama's birthplace, Melania supported his stance on the Joy Behar show.
It's not only Donald who wants to see it, it's American people who voted for him and who didn't vote for him. They want to see that.
Beyond politics, Melania seems to appreciate the lifestyle her marriage provides. Growing up in communist Slovenia, her childhood was far from easy, living in a small apartment with a mother who sewed clothes by hand. Society publicist R. Kuri Hay told the Sunday Times that it's unlikely she'd risk the stability she now has. She grew up in a pseudo-communist difficult life. When she married, she wanted stability, romantic stability, financial stability, and through it all, the one thing still standing is that marriage.
I made a lot of money myself, so it's like I know how it's to work and what money means.
And yes, finances do play a role. Melania has reportedly renegotiated her prenup several times. High-powered lawyers say she'd do well financially if they ever divorced. But more importantly, sources say she's focused on securing a solid future for their son, Barron. One insider told Page 6, "This is at least the third time Melania has renegotiated the terms of her marital agreement. She is most concerned about maintaining and increasing a substantial trust for their son, Barron." Another source added that there's a specific minimum amount Barron is supposed to receive.
Out and about with Barron, what kind of mom is she?
She's a great mom. She's a really loving, beautiful mom, and there's nothing more important than her son.
Trump family expert Mary Jordan also highlights Melania's influence on Donald's public life. She's often the first person he calls after speeches or rallies, showing just how involved she is behind the scenes. Over the years, she's helped shape his image, from appealing to women voters in 2016 to reportedly advising him in 2024 on how to come across as more presidential.
I will do what is right and what I feel it's right.
The First Lady has always preferred to keep her influence low-key. Her memoir, Melania, makes her seem politically distant, or at least wants us to think that. But there's more than meets the eye. She often stays out of the spotlight, usually spending time in New York to be close to their son. Reports even suggest that since Trump's second inauguration, she may have spent less than 2 weeks in the White House. Clearly, she's not eager to be at the center of every political decision.
You lit it at your wedding, and then you lit it again when Barron was baptized. And you still have it, I assume.
I still have it. Interesting, I was baptized on Donald's birthday.
Earlier this year, she gave a glimpse of her approach in an interview on Fox and Friends. Talking about her early struggles in the US, she said, "Maybe some people see me as just the wife of the president, but I'm standing on my own 2 feet. I have my own thoughts. I have my own yes and no. I don't always agree with what my husband is saying or doing, and that's okay." She added, "I give him my advice, and sometimes he listens, sometimes he doesn't, and that's okay." That's Melania in a nutshell. Quiet, measured, and firm when it counts.
I'm my own person, he's his own person, and I think that's very important.
She has clashed with Trump on major issues, like COVID policies and abortion rights.
I want to decide what I want to do with my body. I think I don't want government in my personal business. I think it's very important.
Most of her formal work focuses on helping children at risk or orphans, though these efforts rarely make headlines compared to her husband's more controversial moves.
I do worry about all of our children.
Trump himself has called Melania his best pollster and admitted she shapes his thinking. Especially for a leader struggling with independent women voters, her perspective is invaluable. Through her, he can respond to criticism or adjust his approach.
I support him. I know how passionate he is to make America great again.
Remember in 2018 when she publicly criticized the policy of separating migrant children from their parents? She said she'd been blindsided, hinting she expected to be consulted before such decisions. Her influence stretches beyond US borders, too. Take Trump's recent trip to the UK. He suddenly started talking about the hunger crisis in Gaza and made it clear he pays attention to Melania's views. Melania thinks it is terrible. She sees the same pictures that you see. Everybody, unless they are pretty cold-hearted, thinks there's nothing you can say other than it's terrible when you see the kids, Trump said.
Well, I want them to make sure they get the food.
Even in his approach to Putin, her input seems to matter. Speaking from the Oval Office, Trump shared a moment that caught everyone's attention.
I go home, I tell the First Lady, and I spoke to Vladimir today. We had a wonderful conversation. She said, "Oh, really? Another city was just hit."
Clearly, Melania is paying close attention to the war in Ukraine. Now let's not forget where the US First Lady comes from. Born in 1970 behind the Iron Curtain, she grew up in the former Yugoslavia, a region that, let's just say, isn't exactly nostalgic about Russian influence. She's long admired Ronald Reagan for his role in ending the Cold War, and even now, she still speaks Slovene with her son, Barron. And fun fact, both Melania and Barron still have EU passports, so yeah, she's got some pretty strong European ties.
I grew up in Slovenia, and I went to school there. I studied design and architecture.
According to the Art of Her Deal author Mary Jordan, Melania's quiet but firm stance on Ukraine is not surprising at all given she grew up in the former Yugoslavia, a country with no love for Russia. Jordan adds that Melania has more experience than other people in the cabinet trying to get her point across. Now, let's rewind to 2022 for a second. When Russia launched its full-scale invasion, Trump famously called Putin savvy and a genius. But Melania had a very different take. In a rare public statement, she described the war as heartbreaking and horrific, urging people to donate to the International Red Cross. That contrast didn't go unnoticed.
I'm my own person, he's his own person.
Before stepping back into her First Lady role, Melania reportedly spent 2 months brushing up on foreign affairs. Yes, 2 months. So she'd be ready to host foreign dignitaries again. And while Trump has no shortage of national security advisors, it seems the person he listens to most might just be the one sitting across the dinner table.